Oi, oi. Welcome back to the martinliedtke channel. I'm glad you could be here today, guys. Much love to you all. I'm going to share some thoughts with you all today concerning arrivals and the enslavement and brainwashing and control of the population. Now, I'm going to make some observations of what I have seen in society, especially over the last 5 years. And the people are increasingly desperate where I live in Britain. And it really, the look in their face is all hope is gone. What is next? What triggered all this off? Well, coming up to 2020, the world was in one almighty mess. There's no doubt about that. But after COVID, now humanity just doesn't know which way to go. It doesn't know its ass from its elbow. It is in a real terrible state everywhere in the world. You only got to see current affairs worldwide to see how much it's all controlled, psyoped, different agendas being played out against one another. The whole world's in flux by design, just like international cultural Marxism, if you want to call it that. Anyway, now, I'll just hit you up with a scenario while you look at this amazing picture of 1952 coronation of Queen Elizabeth II coming through Admiralty Arch, and the people that look like ants. All those people down there are British people. Yeah, I know. There was a lot of them back then. And the ants in the middle, all in lines, the little worker ants, are the military, the soldiers. Okay, everyone just acting like insects. What about the scenario of this then? So you wake up one morning and there's been an edit in the VR and everything has changed and it will never be the same again. Only everything is the same except for one subtle difference. That all the ants on Earth are a foot big. They're a foot big, and there's trillions and trillions of them. So all of our existence from that moment on will be trying to combat the unbelievable amount of acid spewing giant ants. And imagine when they take to flight as well. Well, if that ever happens, my suggestion is get a tennis racket. They'd probably be very effective. But it would change the paradigm tremendously, wouldn't it? Well, that is as much as the paradigm has changed since COVID. It's a completely alien world to me. I'm wondering, in the future where it will go. I'm also wondering how humanity will ever find its way back when they keep believing mainstream media and psyops constantly. Every single day there's a new one. Yesterday it was that Greta business. It's just every single day there's another psyop. Look at this. This is Venice in St. Marco's Square, St. Marco's Tower in the background. Back in the day, a little bit of romance. You remember men and women when they used to sit together? That's not even acceptable anymore, is it? And they are all romantic in a nice, lovely Italian environment. Flat Earthers will be there on the 11th of next month. Check the descriptions below in the descriptions box. As you can see, crowds of people getting on with their business in the past. Not too much problems. Everything's sparkly and clean. Let's have a look at Victoria Station. Oh yes, everything vandal proof. Well, there's no vandals and no litter or dog shit or any of that. That actually covers a good percentage of Great Britain. Now, Britain is millions and millions of people who live in council housing estates. These people, I don't know what will become of any of them because everything is just going in reverse for them. So when all is without hope, which way do we go? Well, you keep the faith and you know that all will be well. All will be awesome. That looks like the Manx three-legged symbol on top of that post. In fact, it is, isn't it? Interesting. This is an old London picture. So what do you do? Well, we have come a long way from where we came from. As you can see, these cities, these giant cities, turned up all over the world. That was by design. People, we're from the country. We love it in the countryside. That's where we belong, in the woods, in the fields, in the rain, in the dew, in the grass, in the woods is where we belong. And that's how you heal yourself. You get back to nature where we truly belong. And when we were in the woods, it was the law of the jungle. And the law of the jungle still exists, but the jungle of the concrete jungle. And it is indeed, as I witnessed this week, large animals eating other animals. And it's sharks and it's fishes, is what I have noticed in this world. So people don't know which way to go next. And everything is in flux, and people are not getting on. Countries, they just dish one another, apparently, according to the mainstream media. Well, let's have a look in the past at arrivals that arrived, and we'll see what their journey was like. Because I'm sure it wasn't easy for these people. These are Russian arrivals at a gulag. Millions of people apparently went to gulags. These are in the Oblitsk sort of Omsk area, I guess, of Russia. And these arrivals, they are a lot of them, well, all of them are for the gulags, and the men will be enslaved and used as railway workers, miners, etc. So these trains, very synonymous to the trains that arrived in World War II, if you know what I mean. But they look pretty well groomed. This guy's got combed hair. The kid's picking a bugger. He's having a pick as well. Maybe they're hungry. And what you notice as well is they all got a uniform on. Okay, you can see these people. Well, this is a common Tsar, I'd say. He's in a uniform and he's overseeing. There's plenty of soldiers, you'll see in a minute. But this Rasputin look is the ordinary look of Russian folk. Well, it's a uniform. Who gave all of the countries their uniforms on arrival? It's almost as if they go to a quartermaster stores and get. China got a completely different uniform. Mexico, they got the similar sort of thing with the Mexican sombrero on. China got the pointy hat, but a similar sort of thing going on. And each country got its own uniform, even Britain. Yeah, the mourning suit, because everyone's in mourning. So what happens to these individuals is they out on the steppe, yeah, and there's large mud flooded cities, and I can't imagine where they come from. But what I do notice is they're mixed nationalities. We have a woman that looks Indian, a boy with blonde hair, or two boys with blonde hair. He looks European. He looks like he could be a Brit. All with their babies, all with their children. This guy looks like Trotsky. He looks really Jewish, but there's the military here. The suntan military. Oh, he's a whopper. And all of the people are standing there, seemingly, are not posing for the photograph, but are watching these people here. I may be wrong. But these soldiers are definitely watching them for this photograph. So, do they look happy? Well, just posing for the photo, I guess, in their curious faces. I can't imagine in late 1880s too many photographs being around, but apparently there was in Russia, as you will see shortly. Oh yeah, you got the look of the Trotskys, but so white and blonde kids and just such a mixture. Yeah, you can see the curiosity on these people's faces. So yeah, what you find is this place where they're living is full of big Tartarian cities, but the people who arrived and looking really, really cheesed off, it's pretty much like the people who turned up in Britain thinking the streets were paved with gold. Yeah, they're sitting in parks in British cities now like this, thinking I should have stayed at home. They got kilts on like Tartarians, and they're carrying 2 buckets of water each, and they're women. Can you imagine how heavy that is? If you ever carry 2 buckets of water? Yeah, man, it's heavy. So yeah, they look completely pissed off, and they're living in a mud hut made out of peat bog hut. They've got a little enclosure for what looks like animals. Okay, that sort of suggests they've been there a little while, maybe. But yeah, they look really pissed off. So we got a bit of desert going on here, or could be a dry riverbed, lake bed. Looking at this tower here, it's one of those things you'd see at like a dasher or something at a lake. So The weather gets exceptionally hot, full of mosquitoes in the summer, and dips well below freezing, as you know, in Siberia. It's a land of two extremes. But check this city, right? Obviously, there's not many people around. We got the old ladder lean, as you'd expect to see. But yeah, no sidewalk. But what you do see is these retaining walls around the bigger Tartarian type buildings. And if you can just see on this retainer behind the railings, the tops of windows. So these buildings were there before the mud flood. And all of the mud is still on the roads. They'd have build retainers away from the buildings. The rest, some of these are just shacks and rudimentary. Imagine after a reset. But I'm guessing that's the main street with mud and no pavement. And underneath the power station, as you can see here, the bells, which I've talked about in my last post. You don't get any graves in one of them because they don't bury anybody in graves in these things in the past because they weren't churches for worship. So yeah, a lot of business go down, as you can see. A lot of arrivals, stuff, food, etc., supplies for what looks like some sort of massive operation. They are definitely building the railroad. So I don't know what's happened to them. They seem to turned up all right, but they don't seem to be too good now. Their ears are burning. Their faces look burnt. And their ears are bleeding and they're blinded. So I asked the AI what could have caused such symptoms. The tears, you can see they're crying their absolute eyes out. They're sobbing. Maybe their eyes are burning. Gas explosion, maybe a flash of light, bright enough to blind them. And a blast so loud to make the ears bleed. But I don't know. I'm thinking along like chemical burns. So what happened to them? Well, they could have been down a mine for an explosion, but that wouldn't explain these old ladies holding their face. And look at this sad two individuals on the floor. Bleeding ears. Try and work that out, guys. Let me know in comments what you think might have happened to cause bleeding ears. If you are thinking the Tunguska event, well, I'd forget about that because these photographs are in the 1880s when they're just laying down the transcontinental railway line. And the Tunguska event is cited as being like, I think, 1909. So he's having a pray. He looks like a holy man. But yeah, stacks of people queuing at the clinic for treatment, as you can see. Cattle, pigs, barrels of stuff, all the stuff coming in to keep these people. So a lot of caper going on, a lot of palaver. Sheep shearing. I'm Welsh. I know a thing or two about sheep. Don't mean that in a weird way. Actually, I'm from the city. I never actually seen a sheep until I was a teenager, and I thought it was a big hairy dog. But they are beautiful. And not only that, guys, they got to live with human beings. Sheep, this type of sheep, can't live on their own. They live in symbiosis with human beings. So we carry on cutting their fleeces off because if they didn't, it'd get all like, I don't know, ticks and tangled. They get a terrible time if they're not clipped. So let's have a look at this peasant farmer. Hasn't got any shoes. He sews his own patches, his wife does. And he looks suntanned and quite healthy. Well, probably got a good diet. So yeah, let's have a look at the other side of this this line. So yeah, there's a poor boy. He's having something pushed into his ears. Maybe that's what's happened. They're all queuing up, and this guy just forces something into your ear. It's like a lobotomy or something. Nah, no, they're queuing. Something really, really bad, severe has happened to these people. Wow, they're mega suntanned, aren't they? I wonder what it was. She's signing them in there. And there's like 50 to 100 people in this picture. So I'm just presuming that there's a load more. And this building looks old and mud flooded as well. So yeah, they're getting a lot of stuff together. Handshake. And what looks like a ton of cattle. Okay, well, they could jump on the Silk Road, I guess, with all of that. And there is the peasant farmers. So The arrivals turn up from I don't even know where, millions of them, I'm guessing, for Siberia. They're put into a life of enslavement where you're not going to escape anywhere because, like, where you're going to escape to. And then there's life of servitude and apparently enslavement. Now, and nefarious things happening to them, like possibly an industrial accident, if that's indeed what has happened. So they're doing a bit of needlework, maybe, or making something. The ladies, they always wear headscarves as well. These Russian babushkas, I guess you could call them a babushka. So yeah, look at the size of this guy here, guys. He's a whopper, isn't he? Yeah, but as you can see, uniform. We've got the Red Army. There was the White Army, and the Bolsheviks are just getting started off. Obviously, the Red Army doesn't exist, at this time, but you can see that they're militarizing, and it won't be long. And then, as you know, communism, and then everything extends into chaos. Looks like they got a communist regime going at this point too, though. Nice log cabin. We're going to look at the biggest log cabin in the world following these pictures. Is that a mangle? What is that? Don't know. Kind of a nasty accident with the mangle, if you're not careful. So yeah, they live in mud huts on the side of the river. That is pretty poor living up that hill. Look at it with that pail of water. So yeah, they're living like crap in shacks on the river. That one, probably one of the bosses. He's got a thatch roof. He's got like an actual chimney and windows. Wow, king of the castle. Yeah, they're doing all right. They got a stack of kids as well, haven't they? But what else are you going to do out in the bloody Siberia? Yeah. So yeah, look at the buildings they got left over. Tartarian buildings left over from the reset. We've got some snow on the roof. Lovely bit of wrought iron antiquitech on top. And as you can see, a retaining wall all the way around here. Not that I can see lower windows, but I bet you there is. So they got the telegraph, but what's outside is lots and lots of schnee, because it's Siberia. And then off down the Silk Road, I guess, or just do some business with your bison. He looks a little bit oriental. And your water buffalo, which I do dig. So I want to know this. I'm wondering, right? Check this out. Supply place, right? Out in that desert again. It comes in on horse, I'm guessing, and a cart. Yeah. What do you reckon they are? You can see gentlemen here with a giant set of scales. You see on the next shot, they're actually weighing them up. So I'm not sure what they could be. Large wooden boxes, and they're weighing them. Perishable goods, they wouldn't. What is it? What is that? All of that stuff could be salt. I don't know. Pepper. Who even knows? Spices. No, they come in sacks. Comes in boxes. Oh, I don't know. I can't think. So we got peat production here, peat brick, and this guy looks like a total European, doesn't he? He could be from like Manchester. He's got a little like sort of, I don't know, Scottish hat on. But yeah, as you can see on the background, a load of peat bricks ready to made, and you can see the military here with their bandoliers full of ammunition and their guns that do not look like automatic rifle at all. They look like they might be still on flintlocks at that stage, which has surprised me. But you can see all of these people are prisoners, and they are under guard, and they are forced to work. And looks like they can move around as well, like get on trains, go to another place as well. We got a lot of religious people here, the Orthodox Church, church turn up. So, okay, we got 3 military types. He looks a bit bored. Yawn, yawn, yawn. Loads more stock. And he's doing him a whole Masonic thing. Okay, this just mixed in with photographs I'm going to show you in a minute of Beijing. But yeah, check this out. They've got a photographer there in Beijing, and he's photographed this street full of mud. And oh dear, That's like what happens with interbreeding. Looks like dueling banjos. The rest look all right, though. Lovely suntans on them. But again, in their uniform. Yeah, they've all got the same uniform. I wonder where they all get it. It's like no individual style. Everyone's got a uniform for their own individual country. It's really weird. The Sheikhs got their thing. The Mexicans got their thing. And the Chinese got their thing. Very strange. So yeah, they're laying railway lines, as you can see. Tough work. But the British managed it all right on the Railway of Death in World War II, the Burma Railway. Yeah. Bridge over the River Kwai. Actually, you could actually argue that was actually fraternizing with the enemy. I would have had to, if they want me to build a bridge, I'm going to make sure that fucking thing falls down. And maiden voyage. So, because they're only going to use it for their war anyway, for their war effort. So why be so obliging? Because we're British engineers and we have to show them how good we are at it. Makes no sense to me. So these look really quite healthy. Again, with these uniforms on. But quite healthy. I'm guessing they live on vegetables and beets and things, don't they? And there's the working men out in the town. Oh, they look a bit rough and ready, don't they? Yeah, they got these like military style hats on, all of them really. So yeah, they're going to be forced to work. Look at that for the main drag of this town. Oh my god, I think it's Omsk. Again with the resonators on top of that beautiful Tartarian power plant, and you can see the energy comes up into these things here. You see, they're not for advertising. They're all over antiquity. Even this tower would have had a function, but look at that beautiful end building. Old world for sure. Beautiful. Nice little loft window there. I bet that's a nice room. Okay. So yeah, and they got cobble down there as well. He's pointing. No, he's not. He's carrying the loaf of bread. Fine, that's okay. You can do that. So yeah, imagine seeing that at the end of your street. Just amazing. Generating power for everybody. And I talked about this as well this week. Bells. And you've got the golden domes in the background of the Kremlin. We're going to look at them in the next photographs. And if you have watched my video on bells that was produced last night, there's some interesting questions coming up as to what is really going on. Very interesting. There's like a Vajra set up on top of the bells, and also the crucible, the orb, the holy hand grenade that we talk about so much is actually on top of the bell. It looks like it's been added. Otherwise, how would you have hung the bell? Put it on top. So yeah, this is the Zabella in the grounds of the Kremlin. And check this out. On top of this, it's like an antenna, doesn't it? Do you know what that is? Probably is. So yeah, there's a lot of orthodox. That's what happens when people get low in faith. They're like, oh well, we'll just turn to religion and that will make everything better. We'll get saved, because everyone is like SOS, aren't they? Save our souls. The whole of humanity is save us from them. Listen, it could all be solved overnight, guys. All everybody has to do is stop fucking being brainwashed, wake the fuck up, and get on with it, everybody else. Because that's what's going on, is they're playing us like a fiddle. They're playing us all like fools, and everyone's just can't see the wood for the trees. I can't see how humanity can heal if it's got hate in its heart. You got to live in a place of love and compassion and understanding. Okay. And if there was nasty neighbors that want to come and steal your women, then I guess in the universal law of the jungle, that would be fine to go and, do the necessaries. Wink, wink. So that's all part of the structure of society too. It's that instinct to protect our females, to protect our land, to protect our shit from invaders. It's ongoing. It's ongoing in Britain, and it gives people fear. Terrible fear of losing everything that they didn't even have in the first place, because nothing is even theirs. The ground that they stand on in Britain belongs to the king or the queen that it did. I quite miss Queen Elizabeth now. As soon as she died, the whole place went to shit in a handbag. They kept it together when she was here. It's funny that, isn't it? But yeah, healthy little kids with lovely blonde hair. Oh, and look, I'm guessing this is the back streets. Hopefully, there's only one cat out, and everything is covered in deep shit all the way up the wall there. Look, guys, deep mud. Mud flood. So yeah, they live in teepees, but really, they haven't got it down like the North American Indians. They're like doing a pound stretcher version. Oh, papooses. I love papooses. I used to use papoose when my son was a baby, carry him around. People used to say to me, "Well, you got your coat, Matt?" I say, "Baby." You go, "Yeah." "Well, you got your coat, Matt?" And I unzip my coat and it'd be baby in his pursuit, in my papoose. It's a baby. It's like, yeah, no, it's coming out with me. He loves it in there. It's nice and warm and cushy, and you feel my hat. Looks wicked. So that's what we should be doing. No push chairs. They're on their own down there. Place is a bloody nightmare. Yeah? City baby attacked by rats. Carry him in a papoose. That's beautiful. Generating station. I bet they're golden coloured as well. And beautiful, beautiful paintings with a religious theme. It's a whopper, isn't it? Beautiful in the snow. Okay, and this is obviously, you can see here the lower windows. At some stages, it's been buried in mud. You can see a little bit of really, really rough cobble around this monument that requires this big steel thing around it in case there's any ram raiders or somebody's gonna in their horse and carty that is not well. That's another question as well. Look at the quality. Like the pavement looks, or the road looks really crap. Yeah, look at the quality of the lampposts. Absolutely beautiful wrought iron work on all of them. Fantastical. I had that all over Victoriana, guys. Tartaria. And that's another thing they've taken away when they erased Tartaria, which is still ongoing, I guess. But World War II, that mopped up the remnants of Tartaria. Look at the two Van der Graaf generators with the resonators, golden domes, onion domes, and the bells in sync. I reckon all the bells can open portals between realities. These bells, they just, when you ring a bell, it just don't stop here. They hear it in other realms. She had bells on her fingers and bells on her toes. She shall have music wherever she goes. Beautiful resonators, and as you can see, all them lower windows. Quite a stunning big building. Don't know what that long thing is in the background. Difficult to say for the old world. Chimney. But again, with bells. And look at that there as well. Wow, I wonder what that was for. It's not exactly just for aesthetics, is it? It's wow, over the door. But yeah, that is all looks mud flooded as well. So a load of timber. Look at these buildings in this place. And everything is mud flood affected, especially this big complex here, which I'm guessing maybe in a Starfort at some stage. Get into the main drags. Wooden sidewalks with this architecture. And all mud. See, I can't get my head around that. Got a big, massive pile of crap here. We've got electric, by the looks of it, telegraph, all the bells in the bell tower. But yeah, muddy sidewalks, only words, muddy roads, and they brought all of these bricks, all this glass, all of this materials to build all of this up this stinky freaking road. I don't think so. How about building this little beautiful folly out in the middle of the wilderness, in the middle of the mud, I mean. It's got a little picket fence around it, almost as if it's the remnant of something. So where's the path going up to it? And why is there all mud around everything here? Just mud, mud, glorious mud. It's craziness. And this, would you argue that there's not a load of shit in front of that building? No, you can argue that. Is a load of shit exactly halfway at that window outside the building. Where did it all come from? So yeah, these are fantastic pictures. Gives you a real flavour for the old technologies and what's been going on with humanity. Look at this beauty. wonder what these bollards, they're not for ram raiders, like I mentioned, to hit what? It's only horse and carty world. Makes no sense. And we have external conduits on the south side of that building, all the wrought iron and the domes. And that looks like it might be, like a ceramic, like what you get with electric conductors and materials. So yeah, beautiful. So yeah, they're digging something out of the mud here. You can see a lower level of ancient trees, if you can see them there. And I don't know if these were buried below the ground, but for some reason they're digging out and exposing ancient things. And also there's a red brick buildings with chimneys that the military opposing outside, which are ruined. What ruined it? When was it built? What's the chimneys for? It's quite sinister, I think. There's just something ominous about that picture. So there's the army, the Russian army. I'm guessing Tolstoy or Trotsky would have been a member of this army when they were in the Crimean War at Sebastopol. Maybe some of these were in Sebastopol. Maybe they can still remember the charge of the Light Brigade. Yeah, this is why Russia has nothing to do with fighting Britain. They're like, yeah, you're all right. They're fucking nuts after the charge of the Light Brigade. So I'm not sure. We've all seen the film The Magnificent Seven, haven't we? Have we seen the film The Great Escape, when they murder all of the prisoners? It's got 1,000 on there. It's got a picture of a machine gun, and there's a regiment posing with 2 machine guns looking at something. You could kill thousands of people in 10 minutes with these 2 guns. And look at the little commissar with the file. I bet he's an absolute nightmare. I bet he's been the cause of many a death. Okay. So this is back to the bleeding ears people, burnt face people, crying people, being treated at some sort of clinic, I'm guessing. But it looks a rudimentary clinic. Everyone just turned up. Look at him in the window, holding his ear. Must have been pretty badly affected by whatever it was. God, I wish I knew. So maybe I don't. Be careful what you wish for. Look at that building in the middle of a field. It's crazy, isn't it? I know. We'll build this massive building all the way out in that field. It's like, really? It's like, yeah. Are we going to get all the stuff there? Don't worry about that. As you can see, it's all dirt and mud outside. It's just absolute rubbish infrastructure. But the building itself is quite heavenly, really. It's absolutely massive. Amazing architecture, artworks. And look at them all one big complex from your world, if you ask me. The size of this pillar. What would the building have been like that would have held that pillar? Food for thought. Anyway, let's carry on, guys, on this post. Here's some more of Russia, but we've come way further west now. We're looking at the Kremlin around the 1900 mark, fully electrified for, I think it was the anniversary of Tsar Nicholas II. And they had a big coronation of some sort. But anyway, so it is to blow smoke up the Romanovs' bum, because they won't be around for very long, as you know. But check out how beautiful it looks. So this is just an extra few. If you are enjoying this video, please consider subscribing to my channel, liking this video if you do. Wow, look how many light bulbs are on there. And share if you do. So we've got lots coming up, and I will explain when we get on this post a bit further of what my plans are for the week for the Flat Earth British peeps, and what we're all going to be up to if you follow my channel. So there's that, like Flat Earth Day coming, where we're going to be busy doing a Tartarian actually convention online, first ever. Methinkers. See how beautiful that is. It's not even particularly Masonic or anything, is it? The Romanovs, They lasted for, I don't know, what was it, 400, 600 years, that dynasty. And then communism seen that off. So a lot of people in Russia would love it back, actually, but I don't think it was a very good thing. I've witnessed it myself. I'm more into your Western freedom ideals and having stuff. Although possessions possess you, we don't actually own anything, really, do we? So it's all bullshit on toast. Anyway, let's have a look at this log cabin. It's the biggest log cabin in the world in Utah in the past. I can't believe the effort they must have made to build this thing. It's just fantastically big. So yeah, when all hope is lost, okay, so then people, they just survive. Everyone, the law of the jungle is you just got fights for survival. This is what I've been doing since day one. This is why I just never, I'm always watching my guard, and I'm always like not hyper set, I'm not highly strung about it all the time, but I am on my guard because I know what this place is. And if it was a planet, which it's not, it would be called Planet CUNT. And that's after 57 years of my shared wisdom with you right there, guys. There's still enough people that are good in this place to make it all worthwhile. Look at the size of this place. So, yeah. So, a good example is, I can't remember the guy's name, but he went to a concentration camp and he kept positive in his mindset, and all of the people who were victimizing themselves. It's like, wow, this is hell. Why am I living in these circumstances? Wow. Well, obviously they didn't last 2 fucking minutes. They was dead as dodos. Look at the size of it in there. And they had a little museum going on in there. Wow, the effort of getting them logs upright. Who did this? Giants? Wow. That is in 1905. Look at the size of them, guys. Yeah, the biggest log cabin in the world's in Utah. Utah. Massive, isn't it? It reminds me of them. I doubt the Vikings had them this big, but they had big houses, Viking long houses that were made of trees. Excuse me, that were akin to this. The size of it. I'd love to go in there. Smell, I bet the smell's gorgeous. So yeah, what do you do when society all around you is crumbling? The whole world can't get its shit together after what happened with the last 5 years, and they probably can't even live with themselves and look in the mirror, a lot of them. So what they do is they turn it into anger. The anger they turn outwardly, join a cult. That's really, really popular at the moment, so they can do more. Wow, cry, victimize myself. It's all about me. Wow. Welcome to the world. That is what's going on out there. Well, that mindset sucks, because this universe, God loves a trier. Okay, it really does. And somebody makes effort all of the time. Being watched, being observed, an experiment, the game, in the tough level of a computer game. Apparently looks like they got a fire hose on the wall, which is a bloody good idea, because I'm guessing this would go up like well, it's not made of wood, isn't it? But yeah, like exposition stuff as well, and some nice old American ladies. Brilliant, isn't it? Imagine the effort made to build that thing. Wow. And using the materials at hand. Trees. Why don't we all have trees? I want to live it. We should all have log cabins. Go to the woods, live in log cabins, have big bonfires, play music, and keep away from them. Wah! Run away, retreat, scatter. Okay. We're into 2025, and we are in year, like, I don't know how many years I've been doing this, 10, but maintaining a positive outlook and mindset is vital to surviving in this place, guys. It will eat you up if you don't. So keep positive, keep strong in your mind. And even though it does seem like, all hope is gone for the human peoples, because how the fuck are they going to find their way back home when they've gone so far away? They're nowhere near what they're supposed to be. God help us, the young people, they have no idea. Nobody can do things anymore. It's like, could you sew a button on my trousers, please? Yes. What's a button? Button? So, don't worry. Don't worry. Zipper, zipper. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. So, it's like people can't do normal things like sew. And look at these fasces things on this building. These are, oh, excuse me, I should have introduced these pictures. I'm just prattling on. These are in Beijing. They're a bit sinister. This guy's coming along the Silk Road. He's bringing some boxes with him. I wish I knew what these boxes were full of. Maybe opium. That's rather approved of in this day and age, isn't it? And the Chinese, they absolutely love it. So, yeah, check this out. Oh, the electrical components. But, yeah, these are fasces like on the corners here. Amazing. There's a ladder going up to that pagoda building. But yeah, outside of that, which is like the Forgotten City type affair, is sweet F or nothing. Somebody's drying some what looks like nets for fishing nets, maybe. If you don't toe the line, especially in the time of the Boxer Rebellion, which I suspect is what we're looking at here, you're going to end up in a stocks, which doesn't look all that bad. Is that like all day? Oh, that's not that bad. I can think of much worse tortures than that. Let me be honest with you. Much worse. And that you're chained to him. So that if you run, you've got to do a cool hand Luke. Keep shaking that tree, boss. Keep shaking that tree. Okay. Let's have a look inside. There's some sort of event happening. A lot of people sitting around. There's some Brits there. Who were the overseers? Well, looks like a giant there. But the Brits with the pith hats are definitely the overseers in every regard in the ancient world. That's all you ever see. Is everyone seems to be doing things for Brits, and otherwise you ain't going to have any of that opium that we all made you do for us. Addicted to population. They had to have 2 wars to get away from it at this period, the Opium Wars. But that's the typical Phoenician. That's how they took over Tartaria in the first place, was through trade. And they brought in things like drugs and alcohol. With the Indians, it was firewater. With the Chinese, it was opium. And with everyone else, well, the West is booze as well, mead, whatever, But all brought off ships, spices, sugar. Sugar's about one of the worst things at the moment, I guess. Check out that horse with a Vajra. What you're looking at here is a juggernaut, and I'm guessing it's to do with prayer. You've got the prayer flags, the umbrellas with antiquitech, a gong or a big drum, bang a gong, get it on, bang a gong, and he's got a half Vajra, which has a Taurus field around it, with these fake 4 horses on chariots. One of the rarest things in the universe, no, not quark stuff, rocking horse shit. It's really, really, really rare. So outside of this, whatever it is, power plant, I would say, is a load of tank traps. But the tank hasn't been invented yet. So I'm guessing it's for an advancing cavalry, maybe. Anyway, looks like they've got a few problems because they need all of that defensive measure. And outside looks like it's been wiped off the face of the earth. Whatever. And then we have a pagoda, which is essentially like an arch, a Roman arch, with their lights. But yeah, very beautiful. But obviously left, isn't it? Looks like everything is left in this picture to rack and ruin, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. It looks like a ship. Wouldn't you agree? The bows, the after end, bows and stern, and the accommodation block. And yeah, Boxer Rebellion, probably, between that Cultural Revolution thing that's going on there at the moment, surprised there's any of them left at all. Chop suey was invented in New York City, isn't it? Otherwise, what would we do? Mind you, I'm not big on Chinese food. Not really. I like I like curry though. So, kid running along, people looking like, I don't know. I'm not going to be cruel and say interbred because they're just peasants, aren't they? We'll just call them simple folk. You get them in every country. We even have them here. They go like that when they try talking to you. I wonder what these are. So it looks to me like everyone's getting the fuck out to Dodge. Excuse my language, but it really does. There's stacks of people on boats. I wonder where they're all going. Maybe there's nothing nefarious going on and it's a regatta. Yeah, that's it. Right. More pictures. These are really good. This is Mycenae in Greece, and some pictures from 1870s to 1900. And the site is absolutely amazing. It's got a lot of stuff to do with Troy, surprisingly, because it's supposed to be Greece. Look at the amount of stones here, and they would have all been part of a giant structure, which looks like it's been practically melted. It really does. Meltologists love that one. And polygonal stones, they don't look no different to what you see in Puma Punka or Sexy Yuan, Sexy Woman. And I don't know, everywhere in the world that has these polygonals with mortarless stones that fit absolutely perfectly, which I think is a clear signal of just one world builder at this time of the Neolithics stones, which are polygonals, which loads of ideas out there of how it's been, how it's happened. But I'm in the camp of sound based construction myself. So the Palace of the Council ruins of Homeric age, Mycenae, Greece, 1897. Okay, so this would have been High Council, like the elders. Ooh, it would have been just like, what film was that? I was thinking Conan the Barbarian, but another film with elders in it. So the entrance of the tomb of Agamemnon. Agamemnon sounds Egyptian, doesn't it? But he wasn't. He was the conqueror of Troy in BC 1194. So they say. Anyway, he's in there. And this looks decidedly Egyptian for Greek. This looks like a bit like, I've seen this feature in Egypt many, many times, but look at the size of the stones, guys. Absolutely beautiful stonework. I got a feeling it would have been covered at some stage. So yeah, Agamemnon, wasn't he in that film with Mickey Rourke was playing with him when he got the that bow that could blow up buildings. So yeah, the Acropolis of Mycenae from the tomb of Agamemnon. Agamemnon sounds proper Egyptian, doesn't he? But he's not, apparently. So yeah, they got their own Valley of the Kings thing going on in this Greek island. Look, I think it's a Greek island. I'd have to check on that though. So the entrance to the tomb of Clytemnestra. Ooh, it's a bit like, I like that word Nesta, like Robert Nesta Marley. I if you want to look into the etymology of Jimi Hendrix's name, I was surprised when I seen that. Check this out, which makes a lot of sense as to why he was pushed so much, but he was ex-military. Anyway, some of this wall is missing. It hasn't fallen in, but all of that is below ground level. The stonework is fantastic. No mortar required, which, the question is, I worked in stonemasonry for years, guys, and I can tell you to chisel a coin, or to be able to chisel a bed that is so flush that it can sit perfectly on top of another stone is a great undertaking. These are machine cut stones. They had to be. So there's the council where the elders would have been doing elderly things, basically telling you what the fuck to do. But I think society should be run by elders, really. We should listen to our elders as long as they're not corrupted. If they're, beautiful wisdom, sagey elders, I'd listen. Yeah. Nice old black woman, Martin. And she gives me some advice and I'll be like, yes, sage and elder. So, don't fuck me over now. I'll be like, no, I'm gonna do exactly that. She looks nice. Isn't she probably pretty? She's got a mosquito thing on her head. No, this is Greece. It's not overrunning mosquitoes. So this is the Lion's Gate. Okay, so basically, if you go there, blow a penny flute, you open a portal, and then there's a really evil army come in from another dimension, a bit like necromancers. Yeah, a little bit like that. No, I made all that up. That is the Lion's Gate, though, and it's, you know, that is thought to be a portal, isn't it? Circular Roman tomb, royal tomb, excuse me. So there's all of the kings and queens. Wow, I bet they'd be pissed off if they came back from the afterlife. It's like, where's my giant statue? What statue? Where's my giant palace? What palace? What's that? It's a stone. Okay, you know. Circular Roman royal tombs. Why am I saying Roman? I don't know. Get that out of my head. And palace ruins. There was a beautiful palace there. Don't look like it was too long ago, does it? You've got all of this still intact. Whatever it was on top. It looks like it's all in pieces, but it got blasted away in the apocalypse. Check out Agamemnon's council hall, the innermost corner of Argos, where you got to queue for ages with the ticket to buy a Betamax video player. Argos is in fact a newspaper in Newport and a shop in Britain. There's the top of the Lion's Gate. Wow. Can you imagine? Just use your imagination to go back in time to what it would have been like. Fully electrified, lasers, all the business, what you'd expect in antiquity. You've all seen He-Man, Masters of the Universe, guys. You know how this stuff goes down. You have laser guns. Look at the stones. Oh my God, they're massive. You know, considering it's supposed to be like, you know, primitive man, how are they getting that shit together? There's a lot of stones up on a high plateau as well, by the look of it. Yeah, this looks a bit like pyramids of Egypt. The entrance to Mehab. I wonder what happened to Agamemnon's stuff. I wonder if it's in a museum or if they sold it all. If there was a load of gold. Okay, so how are they doing that in antiquity? That can't be one stone. It is one stone. How is that lintel stone lifted? How is that humanly possible? That is one stone there. That is one stone there. This is inside Agamemnon's. It's like a big dome, isn't it? After all those centuries, I bet it's been ransacked many times. Wow, look at that. Size of that stones. So, yeah, it's in there somewhere. Excuse me. But yeah, the entrance is like, what? Were they giants? Why'd you have to build it so big? There's the Lion's Gate again. Definitely a mystery behind that. There's a lot of photographs of the Lion's Gate. And that's the walls. Look at them for walls. Wow. Two sides to them too. Unbelievable. Look at all that on top of there, guys. The size of that stone and that. God, I thought Belbeck was the biggest stones, but this side, jeez. Look at it. So yeah, all them thousands of years ago, this was supposed to have fallen. The gate, the Lion's Gate. It's weird that this looks like nothing else. All of this stuff doesn't look like the same build as this. It's like there was something else there, and they just slotted this in after. It's not even a good fit compared to everything else. It's a perfect fit, if you get my drift. I don't know, just don't fit. Don't even look right. Don't look the same either. Something going on with that. Don't know what it is. See what I mean? Look, it's not even really good fitting. So when they arrived, it was full of mud and stones all the way up to there. And the entrance for it was all full of mud as well. They dug it out. Mudflood, guys. Even looks like mudflood. Where it comes in. Okay, they must have known something was in there, or they broken in that way. All them treasures from antiquity. It's a mound. It was a mound burial. It was a giant dome that big. Wow, that would be something to witness. That was a dome that big. That guy was just standing in. Is this big guy, the whole hill? guys. Wow, my head. That's amazing. Oh my God, look, it's all full of mud. He's standing there, but it's all mud, yeah? When they discovered Agamemnon's tomb, so they say, all grown over, all mud flooded in, and below ground level. Huh, all full of mud when they found it. So let's have a look at some of the artifacts of what is apparently ancient Greece, but that's a colloquial term for anyone in the Eastern Mediterranean. As you can see, this is like Trojan stuff as well. Agamemnon, conqueror of Troy, I should say. Probably could be a Greek or a Spartan. They're all the same to me. I just think it's all a classical world. It's all the Phoenicians because they all got the same gods. You always see them on the same iconography, statues, same everything. Check this out. Piece of a tombstone. And he's got a head like an alien. Canadian grey. It's got sucky brains out. Ooh, triskelions or spirals. Spirals and spirals you'll see a lot in antiquity because they know about what this place is. Spirals. Fractal nature of reality, and that everything spins, especially the toruses. The toroidals spin. Pieces of quadrilateral column of the red porphyry, whatever that is. Looks Mexican. Oh dear. Mask of gold found on the face of a body, but they're not specific about what body. Okay. Piece of tombstone, and yeah, so they all went nuts and started worshipping cows apparently in the past, according to the book, holy book. Moses comes down from Ararat. He's only been gone like a fortnight or something. He got literally gets down with these tablets, which I'm guessing are Apple tablets, and they're worshipping a cow. So I don't get it, man. From one minute they're worshipping God, Jehovah, whoever, and their boss goes, and within 2 minutes, they're getting down to like getting drunk, orgies, and worshipping cows, which makes no sense to me. I think it's analogous to the state of society it goes into. Ugh. They just, the way they push it all, I've noticed it all, the adverts, especially with the sexualization. I've noticed that, they make it more about sex than actual love. So that then basically, especially with young people, they detach and desensitize from, love, because they just think of it as like just sex instead, when there's much more of a spiritual thing going on that people should not deny themselves. But it's a psyop, isn't it? Because if you think about it, it's well, it stops the family, doesn't it? It stops the whole thing, really. So yeah, I'm going to share some more images with you guys. This is martinliedtke has been here for the midweek special with you all. I'm going to tell you what we're up to now. Flat a day coming. A nice lady, Elizabeth Hancock, has organised all of this Tartarian World Convention, and there's plenty of speakers. Myself, Campbell, and Guy Anderson, as you can see, Michelle Gibson, who I met last week. There's Elizabeth Hancock, lovely lady. Bridget, I met as well. So yeah, this is happening next flat today. I will share the link for this lady's channel. It's going to be going through. I'm going to be presenting at 5 o'clock, so I'll tip you all off, give you all the links so you can watch all of it, so you don't have to miss nothing. It's a free event. They're just she's relying on like donation link there. So yeah, that is flat a day coming. Okay, I'm going to do my best to do maybe a little flat a day, but I don't want to crank up when all of these people are I'd rather you just watch that, and then I'll do a flat day on Sunday, if that makes any sense. So I've got my post ready, what I'm going to talk about. It's going to be good. It's going to be mind-blowing, and that is flat a day to come. First, Tartarian World Convention. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, give us a support. And coming in the 11th of July, next month, very excited to tell you, FE Observation Deck. So it's the first Flat Earth meetup in Italy since like ancient Rome, and maybe organised by my friend Albino Gallipini, And there's his email address, WhatsApp there, 100 quid a ticket, and then we're all getting together, going up St Marco's Tower, a posh meal, all the doings, because it's Italy, and it's dead posh like. And then we're all doing that, and we're doing long distance shots. Someone's giving away a load of crypto stuff. I don't know about all that though. And so there it is. Meet up in Venice. 2 days of meetings, most prestigious cafes in Venice, unlimited access to the top of St Michael's Tower. We're going to take photographs. It takes 15 to 20 minutes to get up there, guys. There ain't actually a lift. So good job after getting training. So you'll see Albino, there he is himself, doing the flat earth thing in the conventions. He does out over there in Italy what we all do over here in Britain and in America, basically. I used to actually idolize that guy, Carl Sagan, years ago. I used to actually really look forward to Cosmos. And now I'm like, oh my God, I can't even listen to it. Anyway, images that I've collected to share with you, and then that'll be it for the day. So I hope you enjoyed this post. A little bit of something extra. I'm going to be doing a lot more shorter posts with more deeper dives into these subjects, guys. Okay, short sharp shocks we're going to have on videos. They're going to be good, and there's going to be plenty of them coming out. As you can see, I've started to put some out already. So what we're witnessing in this photo is amazing, is the exposition in Paris, but I think it's the existence of the older world. Look at that. Can you imagine going out of a day and witnessing that? Yeah, instead of what we are forced to endure. You go to the city centres and everyone's having protests and going, wow, and there's all these really strange people that are awesomely angry. And I get, because of like the way I am and the way I'm wired, I just can't be around negative, whingy fucking people. It's just repulsive. So Neil Armstrong isn't Yuri Gagarin, is he? Can't be, because one's Russian, one's American. They look pretty similar, don't they? Isn't it a coincidence? The first man in space and the first man on the moon, apparently. And they were both treated like movie stars. They were both had ticker tape parades. He was treated like Elvis, took off everywhere. He even came to Cardiff. He even came to all over Britain. Everyone see the first man in space. Could be cousins, couldn't they? Quinky Dink. Let's have a look at the old world. This one is a beautiful building in what looks like Berlin. But how many knobbly bits on there? And the bits at the top as well are pagodas, like Chinese pagodas. And look at the dome there. Just look at that old world building. Just super beautiful. It's like a big chocolate gatto with bits of cream on the corners. Yum, yum, yum. So, yeah, churches of old were not really churches. You can see this church here. It looks like it's still submerged slightly in mud, as you can see in the distance. But it's not a church. You go in, sit in a chair. You got some guy going fucking on, wow, all the time about some sort of death cult, torture, that sort of thing. And then dictates to you how to live your life when they're not living it the same way, whatever. But you can see it's for philosophical talk. You know, philosophy wasn't exactly popular in the church. Said it's sinful, apparently. So fucking hell, it must be very sinful then. Because I like to think outside the box, and for myself outside the control mechanism, and see what I can come up with. And you know what? Sometimes I get it. Sometimes it happens. I just get that juice. Comes like the ether to me. It's an amazing thing. So what we got there? Valuator. Man valuator. Oh dear. So this looks like it could be going underground, but look at that beautiful building. Tartarian clock tower. So let's have a look at this foreign. Where's she from? I think it's Africa. And she is a princess, as you can see, doing the same thing as the British princesses and all of that. Massive wealth. I'm wondering more about this. I wonder what book that is. Can't be a Bible, can it? Cool. It's a bit long-winded then, isn't it? All right, let's have a look at the Acropolis before Antiquities photographs changed it. So we got the Acropolis, which looks like it's just been pulled out of a whale's bottom, covered in stuff, shit. And then you can see a chimney, which has been taken away in the modern day. Shows up in some of the older photographs of Mount Olympus, and you can see a door there in a wall that goes under this whole complex. I would love to know what is under the Acropolis. I bet there's a whole labyrinth of corridors and beautiful places that we will never see. Okay, look at that. It's inside, I'm guessing, some sort of mosque, probably in Iran. But they got some cool shit, but they know all about math. And they all know all about resonance, and they know all about frequency, and they know about color, and they know about geometry, they know about fractal geometry, and they know about the structure of this place. Montmartre in Paris, and you can see I've posted about this recently on the weekend. It looks muddy, muddy, muddy old walls, and then this massive basilica on top being built. But these buildings, look, the mud's coming halfway down them. It's a lovely photo, though, isn't it? Colorized, obviously. Of the building of the basilica. So yeah, Venice. This is one of the floods, I'm guessing, in the past. Difficult to say. They've had earthquakes, as you know. St. Marco's Tower fell down. I think it was 1900, or just after, and that's where it is. St. Marco's Tower. The new one we see that I'm going to be going up is obviously 100-year-old. The one that was built hundreds and hundreds of years before that collapsed in a pile of dust right there. And there are photographs of it actually collapsing. I can't believe a photographer in that day and age managed to catch it falling. Just incredible to me that happened. But yeah, look at that. And I'm going to go up that. Now it's been rebuilt. Who knew? Washington, D.C. in the past. Looks like old England, doesn't it? Look at these center fountains. Not active, though, at this period. All surrounded by railings. Beautiful. But they look really like a mud-flooded world. Big churches. Yeah, Boston looks similar as well, I've noticed. Boston's looks like Britain. So, eau de cologne. The manufacture of eau de cologne, this is like entrepreneurialism in the beginnings, and they mixing alcohol, peeing in there, and then selling it as eau de cologne, because we all know the perfume is piss, don't we? You don't? Oh, sorry. More on Cologne. Cologne, the city after World War II. I found some clues. I'm going to share them with you in the future on the next post concerning World War II and bombardments, and some of the clues that I found that I never ever knew until this week, and I studied the stuff. So I'm going to share that with you on a further post. The bombardment of Cologne, World War II, as you can see, the cathedral is in situ, conveniently missing, which they do with a lot, with taking out specific buildings at Tartaria and leaving specific buildings at Tartaria on purpose. Plant and eat. Never allow your enemy to feed you. Okay, and don't take their literature. Now, I live in a place where I haven't even got a garden. I'm in an upstairs flat, and I tried to grow some stuff, but the council sent a complaint letter about buckets and stuff. So you're not even allowed to grow anything where I live. And as for coal fires, like I grew up with, what's the central heating? If the gas goes, that's it. Look at that church. I wonder who's in there. Well, anyway, they're having a little prayer and grizzle over it all, like it all is real. Oh, the dead gone on to heaven now or hell. Oh, I wonder what will happen. And then it makes you look at your own mortality, doesn't it? Look at this. This is an emperor that was not vain at all. He's like, no, I want, this could be Claudius, so I'll give it a list. No, I want exactly as I look. Because they all have lisps, didn't they, Roman emperors? Excuse me, sir, can I just mention, sire, what? You have a giant wart on your chin. I have a wart on my chin? Do I? Oh, well, chisel that in. So he's chiseled in with a giant wart on his chin. Might be syphilis. Okay, let's have a look at these people from antiquity. 1850, 1870, they're in front of a giant fireplace, and they're having tiffin. So I'm guessing these look quite British to me, maybe German, British. And they're having 1, 2, 3, 4 bottles of champagne for dinner. So let's get lashed up, good old British way. See us off to 4 o'clock when we have a nice cup of tea. So is the way of the British. Nothing stops the Lebanese. Look, he's paro. He's like, oh God, that champers was bloody brilliant. 2 bottles of Dom Perignon. Anyway, this is in America. You can see a little fella there, I think. Maybe not. I think that's a tree trunk rather than a stone thing. Excuse me. Looks like a tree trunk. So there is the Statue of Liberty, which the French want back, but I wouldn't bother because I find he keeps these in this world, guys. You've had it for a long time now in America. It's yours, yeah. They want it back. Fucking come and get it. That's what I'd say. Come and get it. We'll wait for you. Yeah. Fucking hell. What a cheek. God, that Macron's wife's a bit of a monster, isn't she? Jesus Christ. The football players were giving her the old eyeball because she's like a bit of a ball breaker, and she gives him a slap in the face as well. Obviously, she's his handler and giving him a slap around when he don't do as he's told. It's no fun being a world leader. It's like being a fucking rock star like Elvis Presley. You're just a bitch. I think the rest of us had a good deal, guys, in hell. Anyway, there's people living in Fort Wood. Houses, and she's hanging a washing out on the little islands. There's a load of houses there. There was a little town there on the island, Liberty Island. I bet they're not there now. So this is an old Phoenician stone in the mud, but it looks like Queen Elizabeth II. It looks like the face on the side of a one pence piece. Yet, it's not the Queen. It's a Phoenician. Dun, dun, dun. Check this out, guys. From the old world. It's in Germany. Near water. Can you imagine the effort in the antique world to put something like that together? And the British were doing the same. They were building country homes this big, this expansive, out in the middle of the fields. So they say. This just makes no sense to me. But they are incredible, beautiful. I want to slap my thigh and eat Wiener Schnitzel. So yeah, I do love Germany. There's antennas going on over there in the background. Fantastic culture, fantastic food, and a lovely bit of, you know, I know what you're thinking. A lovely bit of, but they haven't got very good music, have they? Really, it's some rumpa bands, isn't it? Oh, this looks like Kremlin in the Czech Republic that I went to. The castle, very similar, but this looks like Dracula's castle. Colditz. I'd have easily got out of Colditz, me. Brilliant escape artist. I swear. I had no idea. Not that they'd have put me in Colditz anyway in World War II. They just thought of something special for me, I think. So this is beach competition. Dig yourself the biggest hole you possibly can, which I absolutely love digging holes in the sand. Dig really deep. And then they fill up with water. And then you lay in the water and it's warm. Look inside the German house. Oh, they got some style. It smells of wood. Beautiful furnishings. I'm not jealous. Just saying it's nice. Okay. I'm happy with what I got. Okay. I'm just passing through anyway, me. Call it mudflood windows. And enjoying doing what I do, which is research constant, finding big truths, and then getting all jolly excited when I get a post about it like today. Look at that for a bridge, guys. Who put that up there? Bridge too far? Whoa, look at this inside. This is inside Exposition Paris. And the reason I downloaded it is because he's looking right at you and she's looking at you there and wondering why. It looks like someone's gone along with the washing up liquid bottle. The Phoenicians on every single thing in here, guys. It's just like, why did they make that much attention to detail if they were only going to be there for X amount of time, like 6 months or something? It just makes no sense. And look at this, right? This is a mind blow as well, right? This is an exhibition. Oh my God, my mouth is sticking together. A World's Fair, right, guys? And you can see beautiful antiquitech. And they say that they built all of this, right? Temporary measure. Okay. Well, why is it all covered in shit? And what's going on with the road? What's going on with the road? It's not even there. It's mud. Okay, I'm just saying. We didn't burn him. Tubbs. I know that's quite shocking, isn't it? Don't worry, it'll go. So this is how we give birth in the past, guys. Not we, you women, right? Yeah, there's none of that, or off into hospital, NHS plaza. There's none of that going on. You hold on to two bits of material, yeah, and you push, yeah, like it's coming, like you're having a good poo, and then eventually, I think she's had twins. Baby will pop out, and it's all done, and then you can go off and have a fag, and whatever else you do. You must spend all of that boring time in smelly old hospitals. Anyway, and then there's a nurse coming in with a big meal. Baby, got a present for your baby. It's gonna make you happy. It's like, nah, you're good. You're good. Look at this. All of that burnt off in the past. There was a fire, and all that bit burnt off on the Eiffel Tower. And here is a Faraday cage because it was used as an antenna in World War One and Two until the Jerrys came in, took over, and then it was their antenna. Look at this old antenna as well, guys. I know it's wood, but it could be like a Tesla tower because of these wires coming up to it. Can you see that? Let me just mag up for you. Oh, it's definitely something to do with electrics because the wires are going straight onto it. There's two little kids just looking at what? No. That tower. Look at that for the World's Fairs. Antiquitech was fully active in the World's Fairs. That's why I know this fucking world. This is the old world eradicated. If you've got the history books, you can tell the people whatever you want. And then the people die, get replaced, gets forgotten. Can you imagine, right, guys, yeah, in 100 years' time when they recant the events of the last 5 years? People in 100 years are going to be going, oh, it was terrible in 2020. Oh, my God, there was a worldwide pandemic. Have you heard? Oh, my God, it's worse than a nuclear war. It must have been hell for the people who lived in the world at that time. And then it's like, because they got to read in the history books, aren't they, in the future? AI, interactive history, probably a plug-in, get the whole thing in 1 minute. It's like, I've just downloaded the whole of Earth history in 1 minute into my Brian. Look at that for sacred geometry, beautiful architecture in a churchage. Look at it. Advanced math. Beautiful decoration motif. Fractal geometry going on. And they knew exactly what they were doing in motif design. Look at that. Tell me that's not beautiful. If obviously, if you were allowed to, or I had the time to do paintings like that on my wall, I would really love paintings like that on my wall. Trippy kaleidoscopes. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah. Look at it. Yeah. Give me. So this thing, right? I'm puzzled really. Actually. I thought that was a man, first of all, which would have put the whole thing into a different context, which means so that is a shovel leaning up against it, but it's still really, really big, this Phoenician column top with two perfectly formed toroidals after, well, they are broken there, but two perfectly formed toroidals, which you always see on Phoenician decoration. But massive and just out in the open. Really strange alchemical depictions. Got an inertia plane, and below it, the Nordic tree. Like Nordic mythology, the world tree, Axis Mundi, and then the inertia plane, which we so live on. Okay, well, the inertia plane is down below our feet, and then we have a firmament above us. How do I know? Well, it's something blocking up there because they can't get up high enough to take photographs, see? So there's that. The mirror of luminous space presents reflections of infinite variation. Oh, that sounds a bit of like New Agey old bollocks, that do. Anyway, all of that's coming unstuck as well because people are going to soon realize the power of their own mind. Start thinking. Do you know what? I can't even get over how simple it is. All you got to do is think for yourself. It's as simple as that. It's like, well, stop listening to other people. What's your instinct tell you? My instinct tells me they're telling lies and it's all bullshit. No fucking shit, Sherlock. That's exactly it. You've just nailed it. Excuse me. Okay, let's have a look at these. I'm afraid I think this is a contemporary picture, but very strange. We've got kidneys. Looks a bit alien-esque. Ooh, that looks like something out of the film Alien, yeah. Face hugger. Chest burster. Ooh. Right, they say, right, guys, that if you look into the face of this statue for more than, say, 3 seconds, yeah, you will have great wealth and abundance. That's what they say. So happy I could help. No, all is mind. What I just said is true. Okay, so there's that. So these are planes of World War One. They've just been invented, and then like a fortnight later from this, yeah, to the Kitty Hawk, 1907. And then by 1917, 10 years later, you got long-range bombers. Fuck me. I wonder if AI will be a quantum leap like aircraft. Where look at that. Look at that. What? Houseboat. House plane. I want one. Shit, that's First World War. Oh, that's on the Potomac in Washington, that one. Oh, it was American. On the Potomac. Right, whatever German flying machines do we have? The Maximus flag machine in 1890. So that was before the Wright brothers, and they had a big fuck off airplane on a railway track. I thought the Wright brothers invented the airplane. What's this? 1890. So there's a lot of planes around before the Wright brothers, seemingly. Interesting. Do that anyway. And it's not just the Montpellier brothers you could attribute to ballooning. There's the Montpellier brothers there. But I think they went right the way back, because these came on quick according to the narrative too. Look at these dirigibles and Graf Zeppelins. I love balloons. Still yet to go on one. You never know though in the future. So this is Venice, the home of the Phoenicians. Look at the old architecture there in Venice. What is it doing there? And the Phoenicians as well. So the full Phoenician narrative here. The Phoenicians of Phoenicia. With Marco Polo. I'm going to walk eastwards, see what's out there. Check this old azimuthal equidistant of the Hyperborean with Mount Meru. What happened to them? Are they still there? Shrouded in mist. Mist that you can clear with changing your thought patterns. So yeah, it could be there, it could be eradicated, and it could be just a glitch in a matrix, and it's been edited out, and we were in this world before, we're no longer there anymore. California there. California, the Arctic Ocean. California, Regina. And all of this is supposed to be Tartary. So yeah, California's a bit outplaced. That's like in northern Canada, so it's a bit weird. What's it doing there? Who even knows? Anyway, so let's have a look at the classical bas reliefs of the past. I don't know what's going on. This guy's coming in to see this chick, right? And she's like, "Yeah, I know, I can see. Oh my God, can't wait to embrace you. But first, my ladies in waiting must kiss your arms and smell your clothes." Okay. If the news is fake, imagine how bad history is, guys. Penny drop. And this is Nineveh out of a Kirchner book from 1700s, but Nineveh from the Bible. And if you look at the corners here of Nineveh, which looks like a circuit board, by the way, the corners are like star thought bits. There's a pyramid there. So Nineveh on water in the ancient Bible water coming in, feeding it. It's because it's not star shaped. The corners are definitely star shaped. Nineveh, which looks like a circuit board from above, like that. Looks like a circuit board, doesn't it? Craziness. And look at this. So I have fitted in past copper lightning conductors on churches. I fitted one up the valleys on a big old Baptist church as well. And it was off of the spire down and then to just an earth input on the ground. So I'm not actually sure if they're just proposing earthing rods, because you wouldn't have it coming down from here, 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 and here, and here. It would just be the one tower or the two towers max. But they're showing you that it's going off into this thing here. I think it's evidence for antiquitech. Fortunately, the narrative behind it is now lost. This is in India. I'm wondering what this thing is. You see it all over India, and I think it's something to do with dimensional travel, and this is why you see these coming through some sort of portal, and they're under one of them. It's got a lotus on it. Bits missing. So the Phoenicians on their floats. How many images have I presented with these crazy Phoenicians with their laurel leaves and their Bacchus and their drinking and the music and all the rest on these crazy floats? Can you imagine if that came through town? If it did come through town, I would be thinking, it looks like the royal family with their golden coach, because that is what she's doing. For the golden coach in the Jubilee, the Queen of England, it's reminiscing what they used to do, the Phoenicians, with their floats. The Phoenicians and their floats, because they came from the sea. I don't know, I just love the colour. Makes me feel warm and cool at the same time. I don't know. So this is a nice little Dutch map of Fool's Cap, but a different Fool's Cap map. And you can see star forts there. And I'm guessing that is in sort of strange Holland. Ships of the night. We were two ships just passing in the night. So this is what I see when I go out of the day. The counter, you know, when you're queuing at the counter in Lidl's, which is so exciting. Yeah. So the whole of reality has just been, it's just so mundane. Everyone's doing mundane. Everyone's scared to do anything. Concerts, a psyop, or it's all them. Nobody crams in and jumps up and down all dangerous anymore. And nothing's like it used to be. Everyone who I talk about this to in my comments as well says, yeah, man, we're not in the same realm at all. How could we be? And this is where they say we're going. That's our demise. And then you've got to obey the rules that the man gives you. Otherwise, you're going off to a place where there's like the devil and like demons and shit. Because they tell you there is. Okay, whatever. Some lady sent me these in emails, and they are photographs of motif in Montevideo, which is Montevideo, weirdly. Yeah, check this reliquary mask out. Imagine if you wore that out in London protesting. Do you know what would happen? Nobody'd even bat an eyelid, because they're all wearing weird stuff nowadays. Check this old wooden boat out. Chinese Hung Dynasty, and it's a house on a boat. Love it. Tutankhamun's bracelet with a giant scarab made of amethyst, jewels, lazuli, all the rest. Beautiful. Cool. It was minted, wasn't he? And if you're going to make a statue, make one of a cow being born. Oh, right, really lovely. Is that a breech birth? Shouldn't it come from feet first? Oh, no, it should. No, that's right. That's right. Okay. Head first. Yeah. I get confused. So these were made for Catherine the Great. They're Fabergé, they're diamond, and then they're in a museum in Moscow at the moment. They're one of the most expensive items you can ever imagine to get. The diamond earrings of Catherine the Great. And Russians. So we're going to reminisce now of what it was like back in the past. This is an old bus. And I don't know whether you remember the draylon of the old buses and how much it stunk of cigarettes. But we had to go home from work on these seats. And it wasn't bad. It's better than it is on a Monday anyway. Everything's better. You could have a fag. You could have a spliff. Now, do you remember doing this as a kid? Well, no, I remember doing it as an adult. I still do it. So why do we feel the compulsion to put a needle through our skin for fun? I don't know. We all do it. Tell me if you've done this in comments, or is it just me and this meme? Lonely me and this meme. Okay. Ely, that's where I live, in Cardiff. And this is if baby Jesus was born in Ely, which he was, and this would be the nativity. Look, I brought you a bottle of gin. I brought you somebody's DVD and video. I got some DVDs as well for you. Do you want to buy some tobacco? I don't think he started smoking yet. Well, do you want to buy it for when he starts smoking? Can you just give it to me? He's the Messiah. No, I can't do that. Sorry, mate. There's lovely old Cardiff in the past. Look, when it was still like a village. Got all the ships in the background with their tall ships filling up with coal from the Welsh valleys. What's his name? Nigel Farage reckons he's going to open all the mines again. I hope he does that. They've done that in America, haven't they? I hope they do here. And Britain, Wales will just be more wealthy and more stuff. Look at these two. Suggs, right? I love Madness, and I've seen them a couple of times, guys, right? He's doing the old Masonic thing. Of course he is. And Mod God Weller. All of them. Tav. Normal weather reports. Normal weather reports. You're all going to fucking die. Who says? Michael Fish. It's supposed to be 24 degrees tomorrow, but I'm not so sure. They fucking lie a lot on the weather. AI is a computer, so it can't exactly go to the window and have a look for itself. It needs to ask us. You're hiding the sun above the chemtrails, aren't you? I can smell them. So that'd be me for the day. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to, if you are interested in, the links are below for that and RiseAbove, which is happening in August Bank Holiday. This is happening Saturday, as I said. So make sure to come over. I'll send the links. I'll put them all in the community tab. So the community page, so you'll be able to come join our happy throng. Okay? Hope you enjoyed that for this week. I'll be back very, very soon with more Flat Earth British juiceness. See you on the next one. Boom Shankar. See you soon.